This time I'd like to welcome up to the podium Shelley Gavitt. She will present Amy Banks.
I'm shrinking and I get older. I hope you can all hear me. I have a pretty good gym voice, or I used to anyway. My name is Shelley Gavitt, and it's a privilege for me to be here tonight to introduce Amy Banks to the Brewer High School Athletic Hall of Fame. I was fortunate enough to teach at Brewer High School from 1975 to 1979. And it's really awesome for me to be back here because I see a lot of faces that I taught with here. And then for the past 24 years or so, I've been teaching at Herman High School, retired a year and a half ago. And Paul Soucy I taught with both here and there. Dennis Kaya I taught with here and there. Cindy Perrone is in the audience, and I taught with Cindy here. We shared a little office down in the gym. Little tiny little office, but it was really cozy. It was wonderful. I graduated from University of Presque Isle with Dottie Whalen. So there's just so many people here tonight that, just being here and being able to share this evening with Amy is very, very special. And I thank you for inviting me to do this. It's amazing to me that after 41 years, the connection that I have with Amy and her family has come full circle to this moment. I'm touched to know that your memories are positive and that I hopefully had a small part in your life. One of the highlights of my time at Brewer was having the benefit of teaching and coaching a fabulous athlete for 3 years. One who excelled in both the playing field or on the court and in the classroom. Our field hockey team, I coached field hockey, I can't remember how many years it was, 1 or 2 years, maybe, I can't remember. It was my least favorite thing to coach, but we did okay. But anyway, we didn't have the greatest stick work that that field hockey players are supposed to have, but boy, we could outrun anybody. And that was one of the things that I tried to do, is make sure that the student athletes that I had were well conditioned, and certainly Amy was that. She was a 4-year starter on the field hockey team, and I think according to your stats, Amy, you had 18 goals as a sophomore, and we were 9-3 that season. Although field hockey was a sport that she played, I would have to say that basketball was the sport that Amy excelled in. In 1977 and 8, as a sophomore, she led the team in scoring with 13.4 points per game and to the Eastern Maine tournament. It might be important to note here that a season or two before then, the team went 0-18. The motto for that basketball season was there is more to basketball than winning. I had to find something positive about that season. And I will never forget this. In fact, my daughter has it. It was a pewter, do you remember? It was a beautiful pewter pendant that they gave me, and the inscription on the back was, "There's more to basketball than winning." So, I had to find something that was good in that one. In the 78-79 season, Amy led the team in scoring with 19.2 points per game, and to a semifinal game against Skowhegan. In this particular instance, it's important to note that we lost to Skowhegan by 30 points during the season. It was horrible. And here we are going to play them in the Eastern Maine semifinal game. Unfortunately, we were ahead the whole game. We had quite a challenge ahead of us, but we were ahead the whole game, and Amy was on fire. I remember calling a timeout And she had so much adrenaline flowing that she could hardly sit still. She was all over the place. Do you remember that?
Yes.
We ultimately lost the game. I really should have coached better at the end. I felt really badly about that. It took me a long time to get over that. We really should have won. But that's where Amy really made a name for herself. She scored 35 points in that game and was selected to the first team, Eastern Maine All-Tournament team. And she was on third team of the Maine All-State basketball team. Her senior year, she led the team for the 4th straight year and went to the Eastern Maine Basketball Tournament for the 3rd year. She once again was selected to the Eastern Maine All-Tournament first team and the All-State Basketball Team second team. At the end of her high school basketball career, Amy became the first female, and I think you've heard that tonight already, 1,000-point scorer in Brewer High School history. Recipient. After basketball season was over, back in the day, kids played a lot of sports, and I think that's a really important thing. She was just such a great athlete that it was natural for her to go from one season to the next. She was an excellent softball player. I loved coaching softball, and we had an excellent softball seasons. We had great teams. Amy certainly did her part to contribute to our success. In 1976, her batting average was .473, and .620 in 1977? Really, .620? That year, the team won the Eastern Maine Championship, and unfortunately, we lost out that era at the state game, but I do remember that. That was an incredibly exciting time. One memory that I have during one of those seasons, I don't remember which one it was, but Amy she played shortstop. She was just a great athlete. She was a great shortstop. And for some reason, I don't know what she did, but I took her out of the game. I was mad at her for something, I don't know what. I took her out of the game, and at the time, I guess I thought it was the right thing to do. But over time, and as the years passed, I got thinking, I really feel bad. So I saw her at a basketball tournament at the Bangor Auditorium, and I said, Amy, I've been thinking a lot about that time the game. And she said, oh, don't worry about it. She said, I probably deserved it. And I felt a whole lot better after she said that. I just felt bad. I didn't want to embarrass you. Coaches do remember those things. She was also selected to the first annual All-Penobscot Valley Conference softball team, first team shortstop. She was just a great athlete. After graduation, Amy headed to the University of New Hampshire and played Division I basketball. From '82 to '84, she played Division III basketball for Tufts University, chosen as an academic All-American. She graduated from Tufts in 1984, graduated from Georgetown Medical School in 1989, and finished her residency in psychiatry at Harvard Medical School in 1993. She is presently the Director of Advanced Training at the Jean Baker Miller Training Institute at Wellesley Centers for Women. She has a private practice in Lexington, Massachusetts that specializes in relational psychopharmacology and therapy for people who suffer from chronic disconnection. I actually have added a book to my library called 4 Ways to Click, written by Dr. Amy Banks. I'd like to think that the success in her professional life began in the city of Brewer, in the halls of Brewer High School. I'm proud to have coached you, and in some small way, I hope that your life has been enhanced by our connection. I'm proud and honored to introduce Dr. Amy Banks.
Thank you so much, Shelley. That was really just a privilege and an honor. Let me first say, I was going to tell that story.
Sorry, it must have really been ingrained.
Well, it was ingrained, and for a very different reason. The reason Shelley pulled me out of the game, I think we were ahead, and I was a sophomore at the time, and I was being a little cocky and cavalier, and there was a pop-up that came to short, and rather than catching the ball like this with a hand there, I just put my hand up like that and did this, and I think it went boom, boom, and fell off. Right? And you yanked me. And truthfully, it actually has been one of the seminal events of my life. I mean, you know, it's up there, but it's a small one. And I think it's a part of what, I think partly because it's a part of what sports does for you. It helps you grow up, right? And I hope all the student athletes that are here, you know, listening to all of that can sort of, you know, take your own little snippets of those kinds of moments and realize when your coach is getting on you, that it is about shaping you. It is about providing discipline, encouragement, and a whole lot of things. And so I actually, not only do I forgive you, I thank you for that. That really, honestly, does stick with me. It was humiliating. Let me also thank the committee, the Hall of Fame committee, for both nominating me and electing me to this honor. I'm embarrassed to say that the scrapbooks and everything that I had and kept diligently during my 4 years. My entire life was about sports, right? It was everything to me. And that I carried those, much to the embarrassment of my family. I've carried those with me, right? I have 18-year-old twins now, and they still laugh that I have my trophies and my 1,000-foot basketball and my scrapbooks with every single little stat in it from my high school career. It was, you know, in some ways it was like I froze at 17. And I think my kids would say I sort of just really stayed there. Anyway, so what an incredible experience, right? To then come home one day and have an envelope that says you've been chosen for the Hall of Fame, and not only you've been chosen for the Brewer High School Hall of Fame, but do you have any information about when you were there? Honestly, it made my life actually. It was like, this is why I'm keeping these. Anyhow, I also won't talk too much longer because I see we do have a number of nominees. But one of the things I wanted to say about sports for me and about life is really that, and for all of the people in here, young people particularly, is what sports is about relationship and about connection. And sports for me was a place that I retreated to. One of the things that happened while I was a junior was that my father was killed. And Shelley was there for me, and these people who I had built a life and an identity around were all there and really supported me through very difficult times. And I'm hoping that everybody has that experience in their sports teams and in their lives, that they really build relationships with people that they will carry with them throughout their lives. That being said, I also would like to just recognize that I am here and joined with a number of just dear, dear friends from that time. Doug Farnham, Kyle Kirkland, who has come from California to be at the ceremony, and it's very, very touching. Denise O'Connell, Marcia Richards, Linda Elliott, I mean, people that I played with, and then my brother and sister. These were people that I started playing sports with. My brother and I played one-on-one football in the backyard. Afternoon after afternoon after afternoon when I was, 10, 11, and he was like 13, and it would just pummel me. We used to box even before that, and my sister Nancy, who, she and I would play sports together, really throughout basketball and softball and pitching. And so, again, what I want to say is that, Brewer High School really set the stage for me in terms of relationships, discipline, And that's what, I think, the power of what sports can be, and should be for people. So I thank you very much for this honor, and enjoy the rest of the evening.